guys, and this is my video response to Vince Venturella's Warhammer topic of the week, which is, what does wargaming mean to you? What does the hobby mean for you? And I'd really like to address this one. I was just thinking where to begin. It means so much for me. It's not just a hobby, it's not just for the love of it. It actually also fulfills a actual physical purpose for me. Well, first of all, I love this hobby anyway. It's a great hobby. I get to play with toy soldiers and play games and hang out with people, spend time with friends and have a great time. I'm looking at one of my little figures here, which I've just finished. It's a tiny little figure. It takes me a lot of concentration to build and paint and get them looking to how I want. That requires a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, and that is where the physical thing comes into play. Now, a couple of years ago, I was diagnosed with having multiple sclerosis, MS as it's commonly known to a lot of people, and it turns out through testing they think I've had it for a very long time, and it explains something. I don't want to go into all that, but MS, I want to raise a little bit of awareness about MS. It seems to be becoming more and more prevalent in our society nowadays. What's this got to do with wargaming? We'll get to that. Well, it would seem most of us now know somebody that's got MS, or they have known someone that had it. And if you know anything about it at all, you'll know that the symptoms of MS can manifest in absolutely any way possible that's physically to do with your body. It can affect your eyesight, your hearing, your balance. It can give you chronic pain, chronic fatigue, your mental cognitive ability to think, tingling and pain in the arms and limbs and that. So when I was diagnosed, once I got my head around it, okay, I've got this thing, and I probably won't be a cure in my lifetime. I hope there is, but there probably won't be. So what I've got to do is try and find a focus to sort of help me concentrate on something other than the illness. And how I did that, I started writing a book. Now, I started to write a book. Hold on, I'm just going to stop this a moment and go into another clip. Okay, sorry I had to cut the film there. You may hear my dogs barking. It's actually the 31st of October, isn't it? So Halloween's probably not the best evening to try and record something on, because it knocks at the door and things. Anyway, as I was saying, I decided to write a book to concentrate, to focus my attention on, rather than the illness. And it was a fantasy book, and I came to a certain scene and I was trying to visualise the scene and the characters, and I couldn't. It was in the woods. I thought, I want to make the scene like a little diorama, and then I can sort of visualise and write about the actual bit easier. I can visualise it. So anyway, I was in town. My wife and I both went into town. My wife had an appointment somewhere, and I had about an hour or so to kill. I was waiting for her, so I wandered around. I happened to walk past Games Workshop. Now, I'd seen this in my youth many times. It's been in my town centre since I was a kid, and I've always walked by the window, looked in awe and wonder at the marvellous models in there, looked through the doorway, seen people throwing dice and getting all excited about stuff, and thinking, quite looks well complicated, and that looks far too complicated for me to paint, and I would walk on. Anyway, for whatever reason, I walked into the shop on this particular day, and it was empty. The shop was empty, and I got chatting to one of the members of staff there. So what are you looking for? Can I help you, sort of thing? I said, I'm looking for a model model trees. But they happened to have, obviously they got the tables set up, and they had the Citadel wood, and they had it all snowed. I said, I want that. Can I buy that? And that's what I came away with, amongst other things. I ended up with this, okay, and paints and glues and brushes and goodness knows what. That's another story. And it basically said, do you play? I said, no, I don't play the game. But I looked at the tail. I said, the models look great though. They look fantastic. So, would you want a game? I said, well, I don't really know. I don't know how to play or anything. He said, that's alright. I'll walk you through it, like basic game. And we played the Dark Vengeance. They had the Dark Vengeance set up in Games Workshop for Warhammer 40k. And we played through that. There's some scenario involving a sword. It was, and by the second turn, I was totally hooked. Throwing dice, getting excited. I was beginning to wonder. I was wondering what I'd missed all these years, and yeah. So I was hooked. I was hooked to Warhammer. He reeled me in, good and proper. So from that point on, I came away with the model, and well, I had some tactical marines as well, and like I say, some paints, brushes, glues, blah blah blah. And I started assembling the model. That's not a very good example, but so I started assembling the model, and I found that as I was assembling them, gluing them, painting them, my mind I don't know what it is, but it kind of took my pain levels right down, and my symptoms subsided, and it was, I don't know, it was like something in me relaxing and saying, this is where you want to be. Excuse me. This is what you need to do. And from that point on, modelling and painting and playing, no matter what it is, what game, what model, I find helps my MS symptoms to a large degree, provided I'm not too tired. Sometimes I get the fatigue, which stops me from doing certain videos. I have to chill out, basically, which is where the Chill with Pete series came from. But I can still talk it. But then there are times where I'm too bad to do anything. But when I'm awake and I'm able to, it's an incredible experience for me, because not only am I getting enjoyment from painting these models and then playing with them on the tabletop with people I regard as friends, having a great time, it's also, I find it a physical benefit to me. I find that the tingling in my hands, I kind of don't notice it as much, because I'm focusing on the model and getting it, finished and painted to the best of my ability. Sometimes it gets a bit shaky, but the majority of the time it's fine, it's okay. And that's what I love about the hobby. It helps me, and it gets me excited. It boosts my whatever that is, chemical levels in my brain. It excites me. It ignites the fire of wargaming passion within me, and I just love that. And I've become obsessed with it. I've poured my heart and soul into this hobby. I've invested a lot of money to get this new studio of mine built, so I can go in there, take all this stuff which is filled in this room now into my studio. I'm going to film there, I'm going to paint there, I'm going to model there, and yeah, I'm going for broke. I just want to do this. I want to do this. It's absolutely brilliant. I want to do the best I can. I want to produce the best videos I can for my YouTube channel, which is, which I now regard as another part of the hobby, videos. Because most people say about the hobby, they tend to just think about the gluing and the painting or the playing. But now you've got YouTube, so that's another element of this hobby. So you've got collecting, you've got the building and painting, you've got the playing, you've got the video making, and then in the video making field, you've got other areas, Tactica, battle reports, you know, just loads of stuff, tutorials. So much goodness comes from this hobby for me. I hope that's kind of answered that topic of it. It's a fascinating topic. Without this hobby, I would feel a lot worse off physically, mentally. Yeah, I wouldn't be in such a good place as I am. You know, and I'm fortunate that I've got the support of my family as well behind me doing this. And it's not just tabletop wargaming, it's like board games as well I'm into, and all that kind of, or anything with miniatures in, to be truthful. Anything. I just don't know what it is about. I mean, let's pick up another one. Look, I don't know what it is about small figures, but I think it's great. I think, yeah, great. You know, I don't know what it is. You know, tanks and half tracks and, you know, blowing stuff up and recreating war. You know, fact and fictional. I learn about stuff. I mean, when I was into bolt. Well, I'm into bolt action. When I was delving into bolt action to begin with, I was learning about the Second World War, and I was reading a load of stuff about Hitler and the Second World War and stuff I ignored as a child when I was at school. Was, oh yeah, history boring. No, I find history fascinating now, so it's opened up that avenue for me as well. Looking at my past, looking at the past, our history. You know, not just in this country, you got all the other stuff as well, like Ronin, the game Ronin, where you're looking at the Japanese and the feudal Japan, and so you start looking at all that, you know, you're learning stuff as well, you know. So yeah, I mean, trying to learn all these rule sets keeps my brain. It's certainly exercising it. Whether I'm able to take it in or not, that's another matter. I don't know, but it's all good for me. It's keeping my brain ticking over. It's keeping me ticking over. So mentally, it's stimulating me. Physically, it's stimulating me because I'm always seem to be working physically to get things done for it. I mean, just look at the studio updates. I spent a whole day with my brother-in-law yesterday fitting the insulation. I mean, physically, I feel worn out, and I will always be maintaining that and painting up the building and making sure it's okay. I've got plans for the future, getting toilets put in for visitors and all kinds of good stuff for the future, but that's not what this video is about specifically. Wargaming and the hobby. What does it mean to me? It means a lot. So it means the difference between getting through life with a smile on my face or getting through life struggling, I think. That's not to say I don't struggle at times anyway, but I do it with a smile on my face because I love my hobby. I love it. The reading, there's another element, there's another aspect of reading. It's the books, stories. I just love it. Okay, in case you didn't know, I love it. But it means, that's what it means to me. It means everything. Hope that answers your question. Till the next time, guys. Bye for now.